So one of the themes along bowel health, we had a question specifically, are hemorrhoids related to the pelvic floor? And if so, how can we help treat and prevent this? So first of all, just to understand that hemorrhoids are essentially inflamed or swollen or irritated little veins around our rectum and our anal canal. Now, this can occur for a number of reasons, which we'll touch on in a second, but the key symptoms which you will generally notice is itchiness, pain when you're emptying your bowel, just tenderness around there, and then there can sometimes be bleeding which occurs during or post bowel motions. So if you do notice any of your symptoms, first things first is to definitely chat to your GP. They might sometimes do a couple of further examinations, but then when you come to see and pelvic floor physio, there's a lot that we can do to help prevent this. Now, first thing to understand is we want to make sure that you've got good stool consistency. So if you have really firm, lumpy, kind of cluggy stools, it's going to be very hard for them to pass nicely through that rectum and out through that anal canal. So the first things first is we'll have a little bit of a look at the diet, make sure that obviously stool consistency we are working on through fluid and fiber management, and sometimes we will engage with a nutritionist or a dietitian, and then we'll start to look a little bit more as to how well you are emptying your bowels and the biomechanics around that. Now, when we're looking directly at how we open our bowels, what happens is when that stool sort of enters into that upper rectum and it starts to send those little nerves up to our spinal cord and our brain saying, yep, I think we're ready to go to the toilet. First things first is we want to respond directly to that urge. We do not want to hold on to that and save it for another time, because that can cause a lot of changes in the nerves and muscles over time. When we get to the bathroom, it's actually really important that we have good biomechanics. So this is something which generally has to be tailored and individualized to each patient. But from a general perspective and a general advice is it's important to be able to make sure that with correct breathing that we're able to fully relax our anal sphincter and our deep pelvic floor puborectalis muscle. So to confirm, as the stool is sort of traveling down into that rectum, and it goes down into that towards that lower anal canal, we want to be able to actually take that breath in where we're relaxing through those deeper muscles and then breathing out, and we're using our breathing to control that pressure from the rectum down into that anus. And then we need that anal sphincter and our deep pelvic floor muscles to be able to relax and soften. So sometimes if there is poor transmission between, I guess, the biomechanics and that pressure that we've discussed, or if muscles are holding too much tension, it can put us at risk of that straining, which can often cause symptoms and changes like hemorrhoids.